Welcome to Capsized, a Silver Lake podcast talking about weekly school-wide updates, hosted by
Connor.
Messina, and normally cast, but our special guest star,
Mr. Blette.
Thank you to Silver Lake Library and community for making this possible. We couldn't have done it without Miss Matthias. Jeez, let's dive in.
All
It's been a
right.
while since recording. Normally it's me, Cass, and Connor. Recently it's just been me, and some recording separately. And today it's just me and Connor, and then Mr. Blette, the special guest star. So we don't have Cass today, but normally Cass is here, and hopefully we'll get Cass back soon. National days. National. I didn't write down any of the dates of actually what day it is.
It's okay. We will get them to you somehow. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
you'll hear them over and over again. But in the next week of this coming, so in this week is National Freedom Day, Groundhog Day, Women's Physician Day, Girls and Women's in Sports Day, Thank Your Mail Carrier Day, and the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 14 moon landing. That is the fastest I've ever gone through national
yes.
days.
As Mr. Blette was just saying, that is a lot of events for a small month.
That's a week. That's
A week?
just in the
That's
week.
just a week?
In the next coming week.
That's the first week
it.
of February.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I know.
That's it.
Getting a lot in 28 days.
Exactly.
So hopefully, there'll be more every week. It's now just become a thing that we discuss.
All right.
I'd like to introduce the guest star.
Yes. So the guest star we have today is Mr. Blette. We're just trying to come up with some questions to ask him and just have a conversation with him a little bit about his background and just to get to know him as a principal, assistant principal.
All right. So, hello, Mr. Blette.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Doing good. How does it feel to be the second guest on Capsized?
It's very exciting. I'm flattered to be here.
Nice,
That's
nice, good. What's the biggest challenge of the school year so far?
Oh, wow.
Diving right in.
Yeah, go right in there, huh? So I'd say, balancing making sure that everybody is safe while at the same time trying to support students and staff the best that we can. Um, Within it all, I'd say the absolute hardest part is just the unknown of
Mhm.
everything. Everything is different this year. Nothing is the same until you get into your classrooms and teachers teach and students learn, which
Mhm.
is by far the best part. So I think it's just trying to figure out what works. And
Yeah.
we've been very fortunate here. Our students have been great. Our staff has been great. So they're making it as easy as possible to deal with what I think we would all agree is by far the most difficult thing we've ever seen in our lives.
For sure.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so weird talking about how like everything's scrambled this year because we do the as we said before, we do drama, and I'm a stage manager in Connor's crew, and it's like stage managers. I feel like I've never been a stage manager, but like we're there every single day now instead of like every other week, or we have the full cast and crew. It's just kind of like we're like Allison and Sarah have been doing so good on the set design and making it so simplistic and yet so like intricate at the same time. Doing great. All of cast and crew is doing fantastic and getting there.
Especially with the circumstances and not always
Yeah.
a lot of help there.
So and nothing's the same, and it's a wild year.
It is
Absolutely.
for sure. A question I had for you, Mr.
Sure.
Blette, is what is it like? Because I know there's a lot going on at school, and there's a lot you're trying to figure out
Mhm.
still at school. What is it like trying to separate your school life from home life?
I guess the good news for me is sometimes I don't have a choice. I have, 3 kids who are very busy. So,
Mhm.
as soon as I leave, off to bring them, they're fortunate. The activities they participate in are happening right now.
Mhm.
So, I'm off to deal with them. And then we get home, it's dinner and finishing up for the night. So, it's, I'm thinking about school, but at the same time, I have other things to work on as well.
Yes.
So, uh, some days it's easier than others. If
Mhm.
you've got something that needs attention, I'm checking my email a lot,
Mhm.
especially during the week, because you just don't know when things
Mhm.
can come up and you're trying to respond to them as quickly as possible. So,
Busy day,
Yes.
yeah,
For
but
sure.
as the beauty of one of the many great things about being in education is you have, I'm here in the summer,
Mhm.
but it's different.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
leave at the end of the day in the summer, I'm done for the day. So,
Yes.
we all have, like students, we all have those summer months to plan, but to also more importantly to recharge and
Mhm.
prepare for that next school year.
exactly.
So you said you had kids. Like what grades? Like how like they going full in school? Or are they?
So my students, my kids are in the similar model to ours. It's a hybrid model. So there's
Okay.
2 days of in school and then 3 days of remote. So my oldest Madeline's in eighth grade. My son Harry is in seventh grade, and then my youngest, my daughter Chloe, is in fourth grade. So
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked to, or me and Cass called our moms on the podcast, asked them what it is to have like us go to school, and even like as we're
mhm.
high schoolers, and they said that like they know we're more responsible and older. And I mean, I said in eighth grade for responsible, but you said like fourth grade.
Yep.
Like, how is it
Mm.
like having your fourth grade child go to school? Like I mean, even the seventh and eighth grade, but I feel like this the age like there's a lot of difference
Yeah,
there.
Yes.
I think the benefit, both my wife and I work in education,
Mm.
and we both work in the same district, so we know the measures that are being taken to to keep our kids safe. And my kids have been good, to their credit, been very good about doing the things they should do. Wear your masks and stay at an
Mhm.
appropriate distance. So um, I'm confident in what their school is doing, but at the same
Mhm.
time, I'm happy for them to be able to be there, because when
Yes.
they're in school, and you know this as well as anyone, how important it is. Seeing somebody on a Google Meet is not the same as seeing somebody in person, no
Not
Yeah.
matter
at
what
all.
what you think or say. So that having that time to interact with other people, and more importantly, interact with their teacher too,
Mhm.
it is really important. So hopefully there's with the vaccine coming, there's an end in sight, whenever that is. So
Mhm.
um,
Hopefully soon.
yeah,
Yes.
and the
Yeah.
one good thing I know that I've learned in my 23 years in education is, um, you folks are resilient. You kids are really resilient, and probably more resilient than adults are. So, I'm optimistic about once we can get to the other side of this, and getting everyone moving forward again. So,
Mhm.
hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yes.
Do you think that like
Exactly.
our next year is gonna look more normal, like compared to other years, or do you think
I,
it's gonna still be in lock?
I have no idea. I mean, I wish I had a crystal ball. Trust me, because that's obviously I say this a lot to students. There's two things in this world: things we control and things we don't control.
Mhm.
And it's that second category of things that stresses you out the most, because you
Mhm.
don't control them. Um, and this, what next year will look like, definitely falls into that category. But
Yes.
I continue to just hope for the best, and whatever it is, I'll be here, and we'll do our best to make it a safe learning environment for everyone.
All right. That sounds good. One question I have is if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh, to fly, without a
Fly?
doubt. Yeah.
That was a quick
That
one.
was so quick.
Oh yeah.
You think about that all the time. It seems like.
Well, it's because I'm always late.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
A part of my life, being busy at school, and then
Mhm.
having three kids outside of school, and having to be in three different places, is you're on a pretty compressed timetable.
Wouldn't you
Yes.
think teleportation would be better?
I'd be fine with that too.
See, that's a
No matter,
tricky
yeah.
one.
I
That is.
honestly find any
Whatever can get me from
superpower.
point A to point B more quickly and efficiently than I can currently get myself, I am all for it.
There you
Yeah,
go.
honestly, if I just had like any power, I'd be like, I'd be happy with it. To be honest, I'd
Mhm.
rather be like really fast, like the Flash, or like be able to just fly. But like honestly, if someone was just like, "Hey, teleportation," I'd be like, "I'd take it."
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I would want to be a mind reader. That is something I would
I'd be
want for a power.
scary. I don't want
Yeah.
to
I
know.
see.
Sometimes, I say to people, sometimes don't ask questions you don't want to know the answers to.
Mhm.
And sometimes when you're wondering, gee, I wonder what that person is thinking, sometimes it's better not to know, I think.
I
That
feel like
is true.
I feel like mine would be kind of fun in like the restaurant business because you could just like look at them and be like, "Oh, I know what they want," and then before they order, you already have the order in. And then like
Yes.
you'll never go to the table and be like, "Wow, you're so good, you knew what I want." But it'd be kind of creepy at the same
Oh
time.
yeah, it'd be very creepy.
But it'd be kind of funny to just kind of be like, "Oh, I thought you guys would like this," and they'd be like, "Hmm, interesting."
I feel like there's pros and cons to each side
Absolutely.
of those.
Well, that's
So,
that's true of a lot of things in
yes,
life, right?
I agree.
Just yeah, I don't
Um,
know.
you have any more questions, Messina? If not, I've got one more.
Oh gosh, yours.
All right. One is such a general question. What is it like to be an assistant principal, especially during COVID times, but all
Sure.
together?
It's never boring. My days are never slow. They go very quickly.
Mhm.
Um, it's Some things are repetitive.
Alrighty, so that was good. I like that response. And What are I know you said some things are repetitive, but what does your daily schedule look like? I know.
Oh, this year is probably I try to maintain a more consistent schedule.
Mm,
Obviously helping out in the hallways and getting bathrooms open and closed. A big part of being an assistant principal is providing supervision.
mm-hmm.
So,
It seems like
Mrs.
it.
Pratt
Yes.
and I, you see, we're in a lot of places,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's lunch, outside at the buses,
Mm-hmm.
in the hallways. For me, Mondays and Tuesdays, for the
Mm-hmm.
most part, most of my students aren't in the building
Mm-hmm.
because it's cohort A and we
Oh
do it
yeah,
alphabetically, right?
Yes.
split.
Mrs. Pratt's A through K, I'm through Z. Some of my students are here, which is good. I get to see them.
Mm-hmm.
So on those days, I'm probably more out and about, more visible in the hallways, as opposed to maybe Thursdays and Fridays where
Yeah.
I'm meeting with students or in other meetings
Mm-hmm.
involving my students. So
Yeah.
um, there is no typical day necessarily.
Yeah.
There are definitely responsibilities that I fulfill every day, but like I said, going back to your initial question about the best part of the job is I haven't been bored since 2005. So I've been in this job
Mhm.
less time than that, but there's always something to keep you busy.
All right.
Sounds good. Yeah. Probably. I don't know if you have any more questions. Probably the last question. I think. What do you find most rewarding part of your day?
It comes to me the best part about being in education, regardless of your role, is seeing people succeed,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's a small success like a very shy student saying hi to an assistant principal in the hallway when greeted.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somebody that wouldn't do that. To larger successes, either academically, in sports, drama, musically, whatever that is, or
Mm-hmm.
for the adults, the staff in the building. Seeing them, going into a class and seeing them execute a lesson where everybody's engaged and
Yeah.
everybody's learning and people are working together. It's by far the most rewarding part of that. And unfortunately, on the flip side of that, there are, you know, another part of my job is to help students when maybe they aren't successful.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
whether that's following rules or in relationships within the building, whether other peers or with teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And on the flip side, if I can help that student be successful moving forward, then that's a reward, in and of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
One last thing I had is just a question. I have gotten the answer, but just to confirm,
Okay.
you used to be a social studies
I
teacher,
was a
Oh
correct?
yeah,
history
it's the
teacher here.
rumor. That's
Yes.
so
All
Yes,
weird.
I
right.
taught history here. I started here in 1999. I was
Okay.
teaching history. I taught world history. I taught AP US history. I taught government. I taught economics.
Wow.
Oh wow,
Um,
that's a lot.
yeah, I taught a lot of classes. So I was also the social studies department chair here from 2000 and informally in 2004, officially from 2005 until 2013 when I became an assistant principal. So,
Wow.
Oh wow.
um,
I don't know. It's a recent year assistant principal.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
been this is my 8th year. You One of the coolest things I think is that I'm very lucky to have a former student now teaching AP US history,
Oh, that's weird.
Oh wow.
Mr. Weber, who does an outstanding job. He was my student when he was a freshman. So
Wow.
yeah, it's the world that we live in now. There are times when I fight the urge to not go running into one of the history classrooms to say, hey, can we talk about whatever's going on,
Yeah.
because I know there are good people there that are doing that by themselves. So
Mm.
Yeah, we both have Mr. Pina, and we kind of been in the same class since like what, fourth grade, pretty
Yeah, I'd
much.
yeah,
say so.
We had I had Mrs. Blatt.
I had
yep,
Miss
What?
Blette in fourth
Yeah,
grade.
yep,
that's and then I had her again when she moved
yep,
up in the grade.
yep,
So I had her twice. So best teacher ever.
Mm-hmm.
It made it so much fun, and Mr. Todd as well. I had them just
yep,
like they switch.
absolutely.
Like
It
I had
makes it
a,
easy for me because
yeah.
the good news is people that know my wife, they usually have at
Mm-hmm.
least a good first impression of my name until
Yeah.
they get here,
True.
and then hopefully I don't ruin it while they're here. But
Yeah, it's
That
like
is.
it's like we said before the podcast started, but like Miss Gill, who's been on the podcast before, she traveled a lot, so we're gonna try to get her back on. I mean,
she'd
she's
be a great
so
guest.
enthusiastic
Mm-hmm.
about being on the podcast already and all about the podcast, so we're gonna try to get her back on. And the upcoming weeks, we're gonna have a student coming on, which is really cool. And then we have more teachers and more news to come. The more things open up, which I think recently they said that like movie theaters and some other
Oh
places
wow.
can open to 25% capacity now.
I believe that is
I
correct.
don't.
Yeah.
I know that it's movie theaters. I'm not really sure what else is allowed to open.
Mhm.
I know it's not restaurants because I work in a restaurant. I didn't hear anything about that, but it's. I think we're stage 3 of
Mm-hmm.
reopening now, which is cool. We're going back, but like it's gonna be weird without the mask. Like walk around school and be like, "That's what you look like." I
It,
just
yeah, no, that's true. I mean, there are times, when we returned to school at the start of the year, one of the hardest things, to go back to one of your earlier questions. It had been, when did we go out in March? So you get
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
September, so 6 months.
yeah.
Mm.
People grow. Their hair changes. Like there were times, and now people are walking around in masks, and people who
Yeah.
I know very well, I'm looking at them going, "Who is that?"
Yeah, I had
Like,
blue hair
I do
at
that too.
the
yeah,
right before we went into
yeah.
COVID
I
and
mean,
came
I didn't
back.
change. I'm still, the same height and still bald, so people are probably able to recognize me. But yeah, people changed a lot. That
Mm-hmm.
was it. It was really shocking. I don't know. I guess if we had been in school, the change still would have happened. It just
But
would
so
have. It
gradually.
would, exactly. You would have seen it
Yes.
happening incrementally.
But it's all weird. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
everything's messed up. So to go back, and I hope like maybe not next year I'll be going back. Hopefully it will be, but who knows? But like
Mm.
I just want like at least one good year in college. It's like normal, like without masks, like
I know.
just to like, I don't know because just imagine how long this goes on for. Like depending how long, right?
Mhm.
And like think that your like sophomore year was like the last normal year. Like even like the kids like say in college, if it goes on for 3 years and they were a sophomore, their last normal year
Yeah.
would be like their sophomore
Well,
year in
let's
college.
stay positive.
It's just like it's all
Yes.
weird and everything's unknown. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow they'll like discover something new, but
Let's stay optimistic, right? And
just
hope for the
Exactly.
best. You
keep the
go one day at a
podcast.
time. You
Exactly.
can't live 2 days at a time anyway. You can only go
No.
one day at a time, and hope that as the vaccinations start to move out, and
Mm-hmm.
you know we continue to do the things that we do to keep everybody safe, that
Mm-hmm.
it has a positive effect.
We should start a quote
Exactly.
wall in here.
A what?
A quote wall.
Yeah, we should. You know what? We could have like a new quote every podcast.
There you
Yeah.
That would
go.
be cool.
Maybe for teachers, like a positive quote from
Yeah.
teachers. They find us one. Maybe,
Okay.
maybe.
There we go, Mr. Butt. You can
You
be our
get a
first
good
All
one.
right.
idea.
Let me think about it and see what I can come
Yeah,
back
we'll
with.
quote that. We'll quote you. But
All
like,
right.
it seems it's been a good podcast. We actually have like we've got like good amount of time on this. But you are our official second guest of the podcast.
Well,
This one comes out. We record the Thursday before, so this one will come out. But we have skipped some podcasts, and we're aware of that. We know, but it's COVID and everything, and school is mixing everything
Mm-hmm.
up, and our work schedules, and Connor's trying to drive, and who knows where that's gonna go. So
you got a lot
We're-
going on. It sounds like.
yeah.
yeah,
We're gonna make it work though. We'll,
Yeah.
we'll make it work.
but podcasts will be coming out. Trying to figure out more people to be on it, so it's gonna be good. So we'll have more guests and more people.
Is this still coming out Monday?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Sounds good.
So we will see you on the flip
See you
side.
on the flip side.